Have you ever looked at a beautiful houseplant and thought, how could something so lovely be dangerous? What if I told you that some of the most popular plants sitting in our living rooms, on our desks, and even beside our beds could silently harm you, your children, or your pets? It's true. The very greenery that fills our homes with peace and beauty might be hiding a toxic secret. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of deception, 20 of the most dangerous plants that could be lurking right inside your home. Some can cause mild irritation, while others have the power to take a life. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your favorite houseplants the same way again. Welcome to Purely Garden, where we uncover the stories behind the plants we love and learn how to grow safely and wisely. How I'm thrilled to have you here, because today's topic might just save a life, or at least prevent a nasty surprise. Before we begin, take a second to subscribe to Purely Garden and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the fascinating and sometimes frightening world of plants. And if you have little ones or furry friends at home, grab a notebook. You'll want to remember every single name on this list. Now let's step into the green shadows and reveal the hidden dangers behind some of the world's most beloved houseplants. Plant number 1, Dieffenbachia, also known as dumb cane. Its broad, speckled leaves bring a tropical charm to any corner of the house, but don't be fooled by its beauty. This plant contains needle-like calcium oxalate crystals that can cause instant burning, swelling, and even temporary loss of speech if chewed or touched near the mouth. For pets, especially cats and dogs, even a nibble can lead to severe drooling and vomiting. I still remember visiting my aunt years ago. Her apartment was filled with lush greenery, and in the middle stood a tall Dieffenbachia. One afternoon, her curious cat brushed its teeth on a leaf, and within minutes, its mouth began to swell. That was the day I learned that not all plants bring peace. Some carry silent danger, hidden behind their glossy leaves. Plant number 2, Oleander. It's one of the most stunning flowering shrubs you can grow, with its clusters of pink, red, or white blooms that look like something out of a tropical postcard. But beneath that beauty lies a deadly secret. Every part of the oleander, from its leaves to its nectar, is laced with potent cardiac toxins known as glycosides. Even a single leaf can be fatal if ingested by a child or pet. The smoke from burning its branches can also irritate the lungs and cause serious illness. I once met a gardener who loved her oleander hedge so much, she trimmed it every weekend without gloves. One summer, she began feeling dizzy and nauseous, unsure why. Her doctor later traced it back to the oleander sap that had seeped into tiny cuts on her hands. She still tends her garden today, but never again without gloves and caution. Plant number 3, Philodendron. This elegant heart-shaped plant is a staple in homes for its low maintenance and vibrant green leaves. But what many people don't know is that philodendrons contain calcium oxalate crystals, the same irritant found in dumb cane. If the sap touches your skin, it can cause itching or rashes, and if accidentally chewed or swallowed, it leads to throat swelling and burning. Pets are especially at risk, often suffering vomiting or drooling after just one bite. A few years ago, a viewer wrote to me after watching one of our indoor plant care videos. Her little boy had taken a small bite out of a philodendron leaf while playing, thinking it looked like spinach. Within minutes, his lips began to swell, and he started crying in pain. Thankfully, quick medical help saved him from serious harm. Since that day, she's kept her plants high on shelves and labeled every single one. It's a small act of awareness that can make all the difference. Plant number 4, Peace Lily. Elegant, timeless, and known for purifying the air, the peace lily is a favorite in homes and offices. But beneath its graceful white blooms lies a hidden danger. Like many other popular houseplants, it contains calcium oxalate crystals that can irritate the mouth, throat, and stomach when touched or ingested. For pets, especially cats and dogs, it can trigger vomiting, excessive drooling, and difficulty swallowing. The danger often goes unnoticed because the plant looks so harmless. I once brought home a beautiful peace lily for my living room. Within days, my cat began sneezing and pawing at her face. At first, I thought it was a simple allergy, until a quick trip to the vet revealed mild poisoning from licking the plant's leaves. I was shocked. I'd chosen it for its beauty and air-purifying reputation, never realizing it was quietly affecting my pet's health. It was a hard but valuable reminder that even peaceful names can hide silent threats. Plant number 5. Pothos, often called devil's ivy. It's one of the easiest houseplants to grow, thriving in low light, neglect, and almost any corner of the home. Its cascading vines and heart-shaped leaves make it irresistible to new plant lovers. But few realize that pothos contains insoluble calcium oxalate crystals, which can cause intense burning sensations in the mouth, swelling, and stomach upset if ingested. Even handling it without washing your hands afterward can lead to skin irritation for sensitive individuals. A friend of mine who runs a small plant nursery once told me that pothos is the most returned plant in her store. People often come back shocked after learning how toxic it is to pets. One customer's dog had chewed a single leaf and ended up at the vet overnight for dehydration and vomiting. Ever since, she places small warning cards beside every pothos she sells. It's a simple reminder that even the hardiest, most forgiving plants deserve careful respect. Plant number 6. Caladium, often called elephant ear or angel wings. With its heart-shaped leaves splashed in vibrant pinks, greens, and whites, caladium looks like living art. But don't let its beauty fool you. This plant contains sharp calcium oxalate crystals that can cause instant pain and swelling if touched or chewed. Ingestion can lead to difficulty breathing and severe throat irritation. Even brushing against the sap can cause skin rashes for those with sensitive skin. I learnt this lesson firsthand while filming a garden tour a few summers ago. I was admiring a bed full of caladiums and decided to gently rearrange a few leaves for the camera. Minutes later, my hands began to tingle and itch. I hadn't worn gloves, assuming it was safe. That mild irritation lasted for hours, a small but unforgettable reminder that in gardening, beauty and danger often grow side by side. Plant number 7, English ivy. It's the classic climbing vine, romantic and timeless, often seen trailing down bookshelves or covering old brick walls. But behind that charm lies a toxic truth. English ivy's sap contains triterpenoid saponins, compounds that can cause severe skin irritation, blistering, and in some cases, breathing difficulties if the plant is handled excessively or ingested. For pets, it can trigger vomiting and abdominal pain, making it far from the gentle houseplant it appears to be. A gardener friend from London once told me how he used to spend weekends trimming the ivy that covered his garden fence. He loved the look of it, until one morning he woke up with both arms covered in painful red rashes. The doctor confirmed it was a reaction to the ivy's sap. He still keeps a few ivy pots today, but always with gloves, sleeves, and a healthy respect for the plant's deceptive beauty. Plant number 8, Sago Palm. With its lush feathery fronds and tropical appearance, the sago palm is often mistaken for a true palm, but it's actually a cycad, a prehistoric plant with a dark secret. Every part of it, from root to leaf, is poisonous, but the seeds are especially lethal. They contain a toxin called psychocin, which can cause liver failure, seizures, and even death if ingested by pets or humans. Just a small amount is enough to send an animal into critical condition. A heartbreaking message once arrived from a viewer who had proudly displayed a sago palm in her living room. One afternoon, her dog chewed on a fallen seed, and despite emergency care, it didn't survive. She told me that sharing her story might save another life, and that's why this plant earns a firm warning. The sago palm may look regal and exotic, but sometimes the most elegant greenery hides the gravest dangers. Plant number 9, aloe vera. Known around the world as the plant of immortality, aloe vera is celebrated for its healing gel that soothes burns, moisturizes skin, and purifies the air. But few realize that not every part of the aloe is safe. Beneath the gel lies a yellowish sap called aloin, a natural latex that can cause stomach cramps, diarrhea, and kidney irritation when consumed in large amounts. For pets, even a small nibble can lead to vomiting and lethargy. When I first started experimenting with homemade aloe drinks, I made the mistake of blending an entire leaf, latex and all. Within hours, I was doubled over with stomach pain, realizing that natural doesn't always mean harmless. I learned to carefully separate the clear inner gel from the bitter sap, a small but crucial step. Aloe remains one of my favorite plants, but it taught me an unforgettable lesson: even nature's healers can turn harmful when misunderstood. Plant number 10, castor bean plant. Striking and bold, this plant commands attention with its glossy leaves and spiky seed pods that look almost ornamental. But don't be fooled by its beauty. The castor bean plant is one of the most poisonous plants in the world. Its seeds contain ricin, a deadly toxin that can shut down the body's cells if ingested. Just a few seeds can be fatal to humans or animals. Even handling them carelessly can be risky if the skin is broken or if particles are inhaled. I once met a collector who grew castor bean plants purely for their exotic look. He kept them in a locked greenhouse, far away from children and pets. When I asked why he still grew such a dangerous species, he said, "To remember that nature is powerful, and it demands respect." His words stayed with me. The castor bean plant is a reminder that in gardening, knowledge is as vital as beauty, because what we grow can both inspire and endanger. Plant number 11, snake plant, also known as mother-in-law's tongue. Sleek, architectural, and nearly impossible to kill, the snake plant has earned its place as one of the most popular houseplants in the world. But despite its air-purifying reputation, it contains saponins, natural compounds that can cause nausea, vomiting, and digestive discomfort if ingested. While it's not deadly, it can still make curious pets or children quite sick. I remember my niece proudly showing me her bedroom makeover, complete with a new snake plant on her desk. A few days later, her puppy decided to test one of the stiff leaves. Within an hour, the little dog was throwing up and trembling. Thankfully, the vet confirmed it wasn't fatal, but it was a frightening experience for the whole family. Ever since, that same plant sits safely out of reach, still beautiful, but now handled with care and awareness. Plant number 12, foxglove. Tall, graceful, and covered in bell-shaped blooms, the foxglove looks like a fairy tale flower come to life. Yet behind its charm lies a potent danger. Every part of the plant, leaves, flowers, and seeds, contains cardiac glycosides, powerful chemicals that affect the heart. In small, controlled doses, these compounds are used in medicine to treat heart conditions, but in their natural form, they can cause nausea, irregular heartbeat, or even cardiac arrest. A historian once shared with me that in old European hospitals, foxglove gardens were once common until too many accidental poisonings forced them to be banned. One gardener reportedly fell ill simply from handling the leaves on a hot day, when the toxins seeped through his sweat-damp skin. Today, foxglove still grows in cottage gardens for its beauty, but it stands as a haunting reminder: the line between remedy and poison is often as thin as a petal. Plant number 13, daffodil. Bright, cheerful, and the very symbol of spring, daffodils seem completely harmless. Yet their bulbs contain toxic alkaloids like licorine, which can cause vomiting, abdominal pain, and dizziness if accidentally ingested. The biggest danger comes from confusion. Daffodil bulbs look almost identical to onions, and many accidental poisonings have happened when gardeners or cooks mixed them up during planting or storage. I once made that mistake myself, mixing a few daffodil bulbs with my garlic and onion sets while preparing for spring planting. A neighbor caught it just in time before I placed them in my vegetable bed. That small accident could have led to disaster. Now I always label every bulb and keep ornamentals far from anything edible. It's a simple precaution, but one that can prevent a beautiful bloom from turning into a dangerous mistake. Plant number 14, jade plant, also known as money plant or lucky plant. With its thick, glossy leaves and reputation for bringing prosperity, the jade plant is a cherished addition to homes and offices around the world. But while it may symbolize good fortune, it can bring quite the opposite if ingested. The plant contains compounds that can cause vomiting, lethargy, and even loss of coordination in pets. Some people also report mild skin irritation from the sap. I once kept a large jade plant beside my office window, its leaves catching the morning light perfectly. One day, I noticed my cat nibbling on the shiny leaves, treating them like a snack. Within hours, she began drooling and seemed unusually tired. A quick trip to the vet confirmed mild poisoning. That moment changed how I viewed lucky plants, because true luck isn't about superstition, it's about awareness. The jade plant still sits by my window, but now it's safely out of reach, where its beauty can be admired without risk. Plant number 15, aglaloma, often called Chinese evergreen. With its striking variegated leaves and easygoing nature, this plant is a decorator's dream. It thrives in low light and seems almost indestructible, which is why it's so popular in homes and offices. But like its cousin Dieffenbachia, aglaloma's beauty hides a painful secret. Its sap is filled with calcium oxalate crystals that can cause burning, swelling, and rashes on contact. If accidentally ingested, it leads to intense throat irritation and difficulty breathing. A viewer once sent me a photo after repotting her aglaloma without gloves. Her hands were red, blistered, and itching for days. She couldn't believe a plant she'd cared for so lovingly could cause that kind of reaction. It's a powerful reminder that even the most familiar low-maintenance houseplants demand respect. A simple pair of gloves can mean the difference between a peaceful afternoon of gardening and a painful surprise. Plant number 16, ZZ plant, short for Zamioculcas samiofolia. Sleek, glossy, and almost impossible to kill, the ZZ plant has become a modern favorite for homes and offices. It thrives in low light, needs little water, and stays green all year round. But beneath its polished leaves lies a mild toxicity that often goes unnoticed. The plant's sap contains calcium oxalate crystals, which can irritate the skin and eyes, and if accidentally ingested, it may cause stomach pain or swelling of the mouth and throat. When I first brought a ZZ plant into my home, I admired how effortlessly it grew, even in dim corners. One day, while cleaning the leaves, I rubbed my eyes without thinking, and within minutes, they started to sting and water. It wasn't serious, but it was enough to teach me caution. Now I always wear gloves when handling it, and wash my hands afterward. The ZZ plant remains one of my favorites, but it's a quiet reminder that even the most resilient plants can have their hidden defenses. Plant number 17, Monstera deliciosa, also known as the Swiss cheese plant. With its iconic split leaves and tropical allure, Monstera has become a statement piece in modern homes. But while it looks luxurious, every part of this plant, except for the fully ripened fruit, is toxic if eaten. The unripe fruit and the leaves contain calcium oxalate crystals that can cause intense burning, swelling, and irritation in the mouth and throat. Even pets that chew the leaves can experience drooling and stomach distress. A gardener I met once joked that its name, Monstera deliciosa, is both a warning and a temptation, delicious monster. He told me about the first time he tried tasting the unripe fruit, thinking it was safe. Within moments, his mouth was on fire, and his throat felt like sandpaper. Thankfully, the reaction passed, but he never forgot the experience. Since then, he's grown to appreciate Monstera not for its flavor, but for its lesson that beauty and danger can often share the same stem. Plant number 18, lilies. Graceful, fragrant, and often gifted to symbolize purity and love, Lilies are among the most beautiful flowers you can bring into your home. But for cat owners, they are heartbreak waiting to happen. Every part of the lily, petals, leaves, pollen, even the water in the vase, is highly toxic to cats. Ingesting even a tiny amount can cause severe kidney failure within hours. For dogs and humans, the reaction is less severe but can still lead to stomach upset or skin irritation. A close friend of mine once received a stunning bouquet of lilies for her birthday. She placed it proudly on her dining table, not realizing the danger. Later that evening, her curious cat brushed against the blooms, getting pollen on its fur, and later licked it off while grooming. By the next morning, the cat was lethargic and refusing to eat. The vet confirmed lily poisoning. It survived, but only barely. That experience left her shaken, and she now warns everyone she knows, lilies belong in gardens, never in homes shared with pets. Plant number 19. Ficus, often known as the rubber plant. With its thick, shiny leaves and deep green color, it's a classic choice for adding structure and elegance to any indoor space. But the milky sap that runs through its stems and leaves contains compounds that can irritate the skin and eyes. When broken or pruned, the sap can cause redness, itching, or blistering, and if accidentally ingested, it may lead to mouth irritation and nausea. For pets, especially cats, the effects can be much more severe. I learned this lesson one afternoon while pruning my own rubber plant. A small drop of sap touched my forearm, and within minutes, it began to burn and swell slightly. It was a mild reaction, but it made me realize how powerful even the smallest details in nature can be. Since then, I never handle my ficus without gloves or long sleeves. It's still one of my favorite statement plants, but one that demands both admiration and respect. Plant number 20. Nightshade family, which includes the leaves and unripe parts of plants like tomatoes, potatoes, and even eggplants. These are some of the most common household edibles, yet few realize that their greenery hides a potent toxin called solanine. This compound can cause headaches, nausea, and in severe cases, nerve and heart problems if consumed in large amounts. The danger increases when unripe green potatoes or tomato leaves are mistakenly used in cooking or tea, as the toxin is concentrated in those parts. During a community gardening workshop, someone once proudly mentioned making a natural herbal tea using potato leaves. The entire room went silent when I explained that those leaves could be dangerously poisonous. Thankfully, no one had drunk it yet. That moment drove home a powerful truth. Just because something grows in our vegetable patch doesn't mean every part of it is safe. The nightshade family gives us many of our favorite foods, but it also reminds us that nature always carries a delicate balance between nourishment and danger. As we've seen today, even the most beautiful and familiar plants can hide unseen dangers. But this isn't a reason to fear them, it's a reason to understand and respect them. With the right knowledge, we can keep our homes green, safe, and full of life. So before you bring a new plant into your space, take a moment to learn its story. It could make all the difference. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Purely Garden, leave a like, and share it with other plant lovers, because awareness is the first step to growing safely and wisely.